Hi guys, and welcome to episode 12 of my Ymir multiplayer series. So this is going to be a big episode, guys. We're going into bartering. Before I start off bartering, this is going to be a huge process and a lot of trial and error for me, because before bartering was quite simple. You simply get that building efficiency boost, you get that conflict sort of drop, but obviously you're then switching from the gift economy. Now, with the whole leadership changes and legitimacy being way more important, and going from a community work style, the policies have changed up quite a bit, and it feels a little bit different. Well, quite a bit different, especially with the leadership. So there's going to be a lot of experimenting. One thing I want to say is I have just got fermentation, so we can now find sugarcane and barley on the map. Both of those I'm not interested in. Sugarcane only grows in tropical. Barley does grow in temperate, but I'm going to stick to apples as my alcoholic sort of resource. So fermentation will just lead to us getting cider hopefully soon. Other techs I've got is plant selection. This is a new one that's just come up, and this lets us build the level 2 farms with axes, but I don't have 20 hoes or 20 pottery, and I'm not too, well, this would be useful, but not like critical, so I'm not too bothered about getting this done at the moment. As you can see here with my troops, as we've got negative legitimacy, our troops aren't actually at full capacity. They're only at 12 out of 14 due to some just not wanting to fight for us. But I am going to use them to hunt some of these ostriches. We actually captured one, but I really don't want one. So destroy that. And then, let's actually drag it here. So yeah, destroy that one. Because I could get all the meat out of it, but it's only about 5 meat anyway. And it means I have to have one of my butchers on sort of priority for that, so when I'm not online they don't actually work on cows. Anyway, I'm going to drop all 30 meat off at Clayton with some of the leather as well, because Redwood now actually produces its own meat, but Clayton still uses it. So I've also got my iron mine up and running. I have got only one filled with 6 people, so that's producing 1.3 copper ore per tick. But once we get bartering, that ore will be automatically transferred over to Redwood if it needs it, and I can actually open the foundry and start producing tools. So I'm excited. I'm really excited actually. But let's go. This could go horribly wrong. This is the thing. Before I need to start, you need to understand that once I switch to barter, if I then don't want to be in bartering anymore, I lose 20 loyalty and conflict goes up by 40. So it really is, you can't go back. And another thing you need to know about bartering is when you switch, everything everything produced, I can't even say, everything you currently have in the stockpiles, you take ownership of. But as I'm looking here, it does seem like it will pay itself off. Privileges, which is something we're going to need to enable, cost 5 state power. But then removing community work gives us 5 state power. So state power, we should stay the same. Superior leader does actually cost 5, so it will cost us 5 more state power, but then once we reduce political bribes, we'll get 3 back. So we should actually stay roughly the same for state power, but actually we may get more state power due to our buildings producing more, so maybe the chiefs can produce more governance to generate more state power. I'm not sure if it will, but it surely should work like that. Anyway guys, I don't think there's much need to just sort of spend much more time in the gift economy. I'm happy to move on, and if I make a mistake, it's just more content for me to cover of trying to fix that. This is only for fun anyway, this YouTube series, but I'm going to go for it. So here we go. Barter, add in reform, barter. Then I'd want to revoke in reform, and okay, so I need to actually enable barter first. So let's go. Barter, this should complete the barter economy, which gives us 1 civilization point, 300 coins, and all the resources convert. Oh, there we go, there's the coins on the resources. So we completed barter economy. Now, okay. So we can still keep community work. So I need to actually have a think about this. So now community work is a stocked resource, which is interesting. Okay, maybe I need to have a rethink. So before, community work was almost like it was an income. It was, there's 5 units of community work available, and you want to spend 5 on a building, so it now goes down to 0 community work available. now community work is a stored income. So if we're generating 9 community work per turn, our treasury of community work will increase. So actually, now I'm rethinking whether I want to remove community work, because the only other way we can generate money, so this community work is now basically money, the only other way I can generate money is through privileges. I definitely won't keep both of them. It's either one or the other. But I need to have a think. I can revoke community work or put it in place whenever I want. Okay guys, so I've taken a bit of time just to look at everything. I've taken a look through the town and remembered straight away that obviously all the market stands appear and we need to get merchants set up. A lot of merchants. But these merchants will massively increase production, because as you can see, even now, our clothes makers have gone from producing 1 to 1.1, and textiles from 1 to 1.4. With the merchants, their efficiency may go up by 20%, 25%. Even if it's just 10%, it's still a big increase overall. I can also see here there's lots of state goods we're not buying. So we're not buying governance. In fact, we can't buy governance. Well, no. Yes, you can see here. So hammers, state-backed production. So now you can't set and maintain stock of state-owned goods. That's interesting. That's been taken away. Before, for any players who don't know, you could actually type in the number of goods you would buy, and then after that point you no longer buy. That's been removed. So now you can just click state buy, which is interesting. Okay. What else is there to buy? I think that's it really. Actually no, I'm not gonna buy javelins. Not while I've got that. But yeah, I'm just thinking. So I'm now quite not hooked, but I'm thinking about community work, or at least for the time being, because community work obviously decreases building efficiency, and it's such a huge conflict. But actually, it could be a good source. If times are really tough, all of a sudden, I can quickly put community work on. But no, I think what I'm going to do, get rid of political bribes, and actually put on leader superiority. So I'm going to revoke political bribes. I'm going to put on privileges. So this, is the amount of wealth sent to the leader, and this is now the amount of wealth. So actually it's changed. Okay, it has completely changed. So you do actually need community work. This is my bad. So okay. So before, privileges, you take up to 25% of the wealth, and then you could redistribute the wealth into the treasury, so you could spend it as money. That's no longer a thing. Now, all you can do with privileges is give it to your leader and give it to your officials. So I'm going to give 1 to my officials. Well, actually, that may be quite expensive. But no, I'm going to give 1 to my officials, and then I'm going to give, let's say, I don't know, 5 to my leader for now. And this already gives us 2 leader superiority. So let's add in reform. Add that. We've got privileges. And then legitimacy, superior leader. Add. You can see oligarchy support massively gone down, because it's got a -10 hit. But then leader superiority should rise. But we're gonna need to play around. So now actually our only way of earning money is community work. Okay, and so if that's the case, I'm going to need to up this, and I think to 25. So the thing is though, even though we're upping this to 25 from 15, we have also had a 20% increase due to building efficiency. So we are still producing more than before. But I just want to be in a positive budget balance, or at least an equilibrium. I don't know why these guys aren't earning money when I can't state back them. I think it's because they just are forced to. Oh, that's it. Yes, you can't buy their goods anymore. You have to give them a wage. So that is where the official's wage comes in. Here, in privileges. Now they're getting paid for their jobs. Okay, so we've got that sorted. What else is there that I want to do? The merchant stands is my first priority, I'm going to say. So the merchant stands, ones I desperately need to set up for is meat, apples, leather clothes. So that's 4 there, but I will actually need more than 1 merchant stand for stuff like meat and apples. Actually, I'll need 3 for apples, so, okay. So I'm going to get some of these set up. Okay, so here we go. So I have got 7 merchant stands set up. That is 2 for meat, 1 for leather clothes, 1 for clothes, and then I've got 3 for apples. And I've still got some resources left. I've still got some hammers. Got plenty of wood, plenty of leather. It's just on the hammers, really. But now these hammers are producing slightly more. And community work has upped us, so we're now just -1. But let's have a look. Legitimacy, still really bad. But our leader is increasing to 15 wealth. So that increased to 15 wealth. And these guys are only losing 2 wealth. So that is going to be a 10 increase to legitimacy. But I may need to add more to the leader's wealth. So things are going well. We got the merchant stands on the way. And I can instantly get them set up. We're still massively growing. 14 growth. We're looking here, our loyalty is terrible, but with legitimacy improving hopefully quite quickly and conflict decreasing, it shouldn't be a long-term problem. So that's all sorted. Yes, we are growing to fill these new jobs, but all our jobs are going to be producing more anyway, because now already they're producing what they were before, well, roughly what they were before, but with the merchants, they'll produce a lot more. I don't know why these aren't selling anything. I don't understand that. Ah, it's because I'm setting maintain stock to 50. So let's actually put maintain. Yeah, let's put it on 15. And then let's see if they sell them. And same with the pots. I'll buy the pottery though. Now we should find that they sell them. Yeah, here we go. I don't really want to buy... What I usually like to do is state buy a lot of goods, because then obviously it takes away from your balance of payments and your budget balance, but it means then you actually own those goods, so you don't need to buy them when you actually want to use them. But when you just switch to bartering and you're so fragile with your balance of payments... I don't like to do that, and just like to really see what I desperately need to spend my money on, and only spend it on that. Looking at this, we are producing a lot of textiles. I don't know why we're producing so much more textiles than usual. That's a bit confusing. But anyway, this is this bit sorted, at least for now. I've got the merchants on the way, and I have switched the sort of government, not government type, but how our legitimacy is calculated. And I've also upped community work. What I'm going to do now is the new feature, which is instead of portage, is the transfer of goods of your hamlets to your capital, your regional territory, sorry, regional centre. So what I'm going to do now is here, regional transfers, and it's the same sort of UI, but I'm going to go, how do I use this? So now I can only transfer hammers. Ah, no, you have to actually click on the arrow like before. Okay, so let's go apples. And I have got a lot of spare population here, which I just can't use and I don't want to use, because they've got a lot of apples. So I'm going to probably send about 4 apples back to the capital. So let's do this. Let's go apples and 4. And then send to region centre. So let's see this. Should see in a little bit that increase due to imports. We'll have to see. Saying currently exporting 2 or 4. Okay, I need to have a think. I need to play around with this and understand that a little bit more. I'm going to do the same with copper ore. And... well, no, cows are actually okay. Well, actually, no, I will ask. I'm going to send 0.1 cows. Send. So again, it's saying 1 out of 1. I don't really understand that. Okay. And then copper ore, I'm going to send... It was 1.3 was how much they were producing before. So I'm going to send 1.3. So that's going to cost us money in import. So you can see trade balance has actually gone down. Oh, but leader... Okay, so this is different. So I need to have a think about this. So the leader is assigning 12 of his personal... The leader's currently assigning 100% of his personal privilege wealth of 12 to government finances and privileges. So maybe I do want to up the privileges rate, because if he does assign some, I want to set that. Give that more. Okay. God, loyalty is really decreasing due to the oligarchy support being so bad. Oh, so what I see is, yeah, I'm an idiot here. I saw this as it gives 8 monies to the leader, just like it had done with the government bribes and all of that. This is 8% of the territory's wealth given to the leader. So actually that is why it's going up to like 23. But saying that, I still do want it to be really, really high, because legitimacy, we need positive legitimacy. I don't care too much about getting mega high legitimacy, because we've already got plenty of spare state power to generate loyalty, but it needs to be positive so we don't get troops abandoning us. So with the clay, I'm going to send the clay back as well, so 1.7 clay. And the reason it's gone down all these territories is because we're not buying the clay, they're producing less. And also, this is a major problem. We haven't... this is a really big problem. In this territory, we haven't set up a merchant, which means they're not getting the meat. In the other 2 territories, the farmers directly supply the meat through the market. The merchant. I can't even say it, the market stands. But in this territory, we just have meat in the stockpile, which means we need a merchant to supply the meat. So I'm going to set this to critical. And I need to wait for that to build, actually, because otherwise all our population is going to die. But we've got plenty of time. So I'm going to go and check all the other territories and see how the transfer of goods is going on, see if it's working correctly. So as we can see here, yep, we're now importing 2 apples and we're importing cows. For some reason, it can't do decimal numbers. Really frustrating, but as we can see here, it's sending over 1 cow. It just can't, I just don't think it can handle 0.1 cow, which is all I wanted to send over. Oh no, it can. I don't know why when I put 0.1 it went straight to 1. That was a bit stupid, but whatever. Sending 2 of 4. I'm going to set it, well, not 74. I'm going to set it to 4. And that's still not going to 4. I don't understand why. But the apples has sorted out. Sorry, the cows have sorted out. Copper, there's still a little bit more. Set up to 0.14. I need to see how much the foundries work. That's what I need to see. Is there another 1.7? There is. So that is 3.4, isn't it? Yeah, so 3.4 clay now be sent to redwood, which means we cover all our clay needs. There we go. 0.4 clay spare, which is just a little bit to spend on... Actually, no, we can't spend that on pottery. Pottery, I think, is like 0.6, 0.8 clay per tick, so we don't have enough clay for that. But as we get more jobs in Clayton, we can produce more clay, so we can produce more pottery back in redwood. So things are going quite well. You can see we've dropped a lot in score. Actually, no, we are 18th. Yeah, we are 18th, so we have increased in score. But we have dropped, I think, from where we were. Maybe we haven't. I'm not sure. You can see our farms, even with the market stands, have opened up in usage. But what I'm thinking now is, I really don't need actually many farmers. Already, we're producing a huge surplus of apples because I'm only sending over 2 apples from, what's it called, Appleville. I'm only sending over 2 apples. We haven't even maxed out our farms here. So I'm not sure. We definitely don't need any more farmers. In fact, I don't think we really have any space for them, do we? We only have a little bit of space over here and over here. So we don't even have much more space for farmers. I'm going to set this building to high. This building to high. And how much does it use up? Only uses up well, it's because it's not making a profit. Let's set this one to axes, to critical. Buying axes. Wait, so axes need 1 copper. I don't think this can even produce 1 copper. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, looking at all our apple farms, they're not even at max capacity, and we're already producing well over our apple demand. Saying this though, when we get cider, we're going to need a lot more apples. So I do want to produce more apples. Just playing around with, leader's wealth. So it says the leader is currently turning 100% of his personal privilege wealth of 20. So it does seem that the leader supplies his wealth to the treasury. So all that happens is the wealth gets taken away, which means your score goes down because there's less territory wealth. We can see here the territory wealth is 244, but there's a minus 22 of the wealth taken away in privileges. So wealth gets taken away there, but your leader does put it back into the pile, but it still gives it to him. So that's a little bit confusing. But if that's how it works, that's how it works. And I'm gonna give him a little bit more. I'm gonna go up to 10% and see how that is. So cotton, I'm not too worried about getting more fields. So I don't think I'm gonna get any more farms. I think I'm gonna actually destroy this farm building. Not gonna get any more farms. Not gonna get any more cattle farms. Just don't have the space. I'm gonna demolish them 2 buildings. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill up all these buildings for apple fields and cow. Thinking about that, getting all those buildings just full, even though it's like 2 or 3 fields per building, we're going to completely run out of space here. But anyway, I'm going to get these farms and cattle farms filled up, and then I can. But that's the thing. I'm going to get them filled up, but then they're going to lose their market stand, and they're going to have even more space left. So I may just have to actually delete even more farms and just rearrange the fields. I need to have a think about that. Cotton though, I need to start sending over. We're using up 4.6, well 8.9, but minus 4.6 net. I'm going to send this over. So come here, cotton, 2.5, send to region center. I need a lot more hose because I really want to start planting more crops. So yeah, looking at this here, we're still not actually producing at our crops. Also looking, we've got a lot of cows spare here, 0.5 per tick, so we don't really need any more cows, so I'm not going to bother with that. In fact, what I may do is, I was going to say not get rid of, but just unassign the workers from one of my cattle farms. I'm not going to do that yet. Okay guys, so we've got all the merchants in, and I'm going to get busy setting them up. So meat, critical, and I'm going to hire a worker for meat. And I'm going to set supply all the way up to 7. I know you don't have to do this, but I always like to do this. So the reason I'm doing this is even though we're actually matching our meat demand already, you may think, well, this is a bit pointless, setting more jobs to do this. But actually what we may find is if I do this, delete all the market stands, I can actually save jobs, unassigning some butchers, but the other butchers now produce so much more that they can cover that loss. So it does create more jobs for me. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to unassign infrastructure. So just have buildings, and then I'm going to delete all these stands for the butchers, and also for the hunting spot as well. Got to remember they still produce the meat, and they're supplying it themselves. So setting this merchant here, and I'm going to set this one as well. Meat 7, and let's see how much surplus meat we produce already. Oh, no, I was about to say already 7.9. I can't believe that. But no, it's because we're not fulfilling it fully. So let's see. We only actually need 13. So this is why I like to do that. And then I can set this to 6. So now we're supplying the market with 13 meat, which is the demand. So let's see how much we save. I'm now also going to do the same with cloves, which the demand for cloves is 6.2. So I'm going to delete all these cloves makers and I'm going to set one over here as cloves. And I set this to high because it's not a food building. So cloves, and that is 6. So like I said before, it's always a little bit fragile when you just start off, but after a bit of time, it does recover. And already we can see here, we're producing 14.9 meat, but we only need 13. So I can get rid of these guys. So that has actually not saved me any jobs because I had to spend 2 jobs for the merchants and I'm only losing 1. But I'm still happy with that because now I am actually stocking meat. 0.5 meat. Because this is the thing, when you've got a direct supply, let's say you produced 30 apples but you only need 15, if you've got a direct supply of market stands, you can't save any apples unless you actually put to maintain stock. So this is now actually generating us 0.5 apples and we haven't lost any jobs because the 2 butchers from here have gone straight to here. Cloves, we are now fulfilling these, but there's a little bit of supply chain problem as they're saying they're not earning money, etc, etc. So we just need to hopefully just wait a couple minutes to get that sorted and then hopefully they will register they are actually making money and we can supply them. I'm going to do the same for leather cloves. So over here, leather cloves, and then what? The demand for leather cloves is 7, so we can just leave that. That's 7. And then I'm going to delete again all the leather clove spots, just those 4. So we can see here with leather cloves, we're only producing about 1.9. So even though we want to provide 7, I don't want that to dig into our leather clove stock. So I am going to drop this to 2. Another problem we've also got is not profitable business. We can see here that I'm not sure if it's because we're missing the tech for changing prices, but we can see here just some of the prices are off. So we're just waiting a little bit for them to increase so it makes it profitable for these industries. You can also see here already 18 budget balance now. As we're assigning more and more money to the leader's wealth, we're actually doing quite well, and that increase is very well appreciated. So I might decrease the community work slightly, just maybe by 3 or 4%. Because if we now look at building houses, yeah, we can see building a large house would cost us 1 because we own the hammers, leather and wood, but it would cost us 1, I'm guessing, for the mud. Well, we also do need them. Oh, actually, no, we don't need another well. I looked at that and saw 0.1, but actually we supply 9.2 already, so we do not need another well. And also looking here, where we've got 18, I wasn't buying axes. I'm only producing 0.4 axes, but that would still take a big chunk out of our budget balance. Looking at the flint now, we do need more flint, so I am going to start setting these up. They produce 2.7 flint. We just need more workers. It's like always, we need more workers, but we are getting 16 more. Going to take us to 130 porcos. So as we can see with the metallurgy, we're only producing we're producing 0.4 at the moment, but if this was full, we're still only producing 0.6 copper. So not even enough to make 1 axe per tick. We are still getting a surplus of copper ore, so we can produce about 1.2 axes per tick, which isn't very much, but seemingly we don't have mud bricks yet anyway. Once we do get mud bricks and start producing them, it will be enough to upgrade quite a few houses or get stuff like the builders up. But at the moment, my main goal is just to grow. It's simply just to grow, get more people, really get bartering underway with all the merchants up, get all our efficiency up. But at the moment, I actually am a little bit worried about the loyalty. It doesn't seem to be increasing. And obviously, yeah, conflict's going down, which is a good thing. But I'm worried about this, the oligarchy support. I'm not sure if it's just because at the moment our leader is increasing to 29 wealth, but he hasn't actually got it, and so it's not going to legitimacy. I don't know, but I'm worried I'm going to come back and we're going to rebel and the game's over, because I don't want to assign a lot of troops at the moment. I'm still a bit confused about the clothes makers. They're not earning a profit actually, which is confusing. You can see here they're earning 0, and so they're not wanting to work. Yeah, this is frustrating. I'm not sure if it's just because I need to give it a bit more time and just let it sort itself out. I don't know, but I don't want that to happen. I want to be producing clothes how I was before. But it's the same with leather clothes. Look at this. They're making 0 profit as well, and they're not wanting to work. But it says the price is increasing to 3, so hopefully when it does increase to 3, it will improve. But clothes isn't increasing in price, so yeah. Okay, I'm getting more cotton fields set up here just to fill up our cotton farm down here. Because this one doesn't need it already filled. There's 3 fields. It doesn't need a market stand because it's producing industrial goods. So it's not producing goods that need to be supplied to people. So that one's now set up, and that's making a good profit. These farms, the farmers always make the biggest profit, or at least one of the biggest profits in the early game when you get to bartering. And these guys, yeah, like I said, they're not even at full capacity. So I think what I want to do is I want to remove all the market stands from them. Remove all the market stands from all the farms, build as many apple fields as I can with the amount of hose I've got, and then rearrange the jobs so we're working at a good capacity. So that's what I'm going to do now, guys. Okay, so I have sorted out the fields. I have simply... I don't know why this one's still getting fucking workers, but... whatever. I've sorted out the fields. I have unassigned all the fields from this one farm and redistributed them to these 3. And so these are all at 100%. These 2 are still at 80%, but all the fields have gone from this one. So actually, I've saved 3 farmers to produce the same amount of crops. But what you got to remember is I've still got a lot of crops being produced in the hamlet. So I am tempted to turn off this farm. Actually, no, I am going to do that right now. Turn off this farm, which is producing just 3.6 apples, because we're already making a 2.3 surplus, and then to get in the rest from Appleville. So we've now actually saved 6 jobs, well, 3 jobs, because I've had to assign 3 workers to the merchants here. Still got a few hammers left, so I am going to get some more merchant buildings. Yeah, just 2 more down here. So yeah, now things are going good. I've got 16 hoes, and what I'm going to do is set them to produce more cotton in Appleville. I've also finally got these up and running, which I think they're actually missing. Yeah, they're missing a worker here, so let's get them. Yeah, so I've finally got these up and running. The leather clothes just isn't stable, it seems. Which is sad, but the workers just don't seem to stay in the buildings. But let's see if we can. You can see the price is very slowly increasing to 3. This price is stable at 2.7. The price of apples is now at 1.1, supplying at 19. So yeah, we've turned off this farm. This farm just keeps getting fucking workers. Go away. I don't know why, and I don't want to put them on sleep because that means I'll actually have to pay money for upkeep. But now what I'm going to do is just buy in the rest of the apples. That's 1.3 apples. Instead of 2, I'm going to do it to 3.3. Over here in Clayton, we do actually need to get the meat supplied to the villagers, because I built that the merchant stand quite a while ago. So I need to get that set to supply meat. Yep, so critical, hire, and then meat. How much do they need? They need... But actually, I need to supply quite a bit. I'm going to supply two for now. These people are actually earning money from me buying the clay from them. Oh my god. Why is it not staying there? I got that as critical. I suppose I do actually have these as critical. Hi. Hi. And then keep this one as critical. And then that should hopefully work. So looking at my other places, Southfields, yeah, they're supplying all the apples. Still got a lot of cow surplus though. My goodness, you can see just how bad that legitimacy is. Wow. And legitimacy isn't improving at all. Well, as you can see here, leader's personal wealth is +4. Because he has, well, actually has 9 here. So, oh, it's, yeah. I'm generally worried about legitimacy. I think it is just because it hasn't caught up with the leader getting to 27, but that's relevant really because loyalty is already crashing down. So we may be in a big problem here. And we actually are producing spare cotton, so I need to send more over. So they need 1.8 more cotton, so that would be 4.3. Let's send 4.3 cotton over. Here, there we go. I don't understand the apples though. So this just goes 4.3 out of 4.3, but here it's exporting 2 out of 3.3. Why can't it send the other apples? I think it's because I'm not directly supplying apples. Well, I think the thing is because apples are a food good, and so it's just not letting me because I haven't got merchants down. Not sure. Yeah, because we've just got the farms there. I am going to build a merchant then. We've got spare hammers and stuff. So I'm going to get a merchant down here, set them to critical. Unassign these and set these to high. And then set these to high. And then what I'll do is I'll set this to sell apples, but just enough apples that we get a population where I want it to. All the rest of the apples I'm going to send back to Redwood, and then I can produce less apples in Redwood, which means I get more free jobs more free workers to put into other jobs. So now hamlets are really starting to shine and really starting to be useful as they free up jobs in Redwood. And there we go. Yeah, now in Clayton, we are growing again. So that's good. Clayton's all set up for food. Southfields is doing... Southfield needs to do better. Southfield, I need to get a merchant down as well to supply the apples, and then I can up my apple production. So let's do that. Get more apple fields. So this one's actually already at 100% for apple fields. So I'm going to get a merchant down. So apples here, that will free up some space here so I can get more apple farms down. So hopefully I can get a few more people. I can also just build houses here. The house level 1. Just to get some more people. That could do, but I don't have the hammers for that at the moment. Yeah, so now we're fulfilling our cotton need. We will fulfill our apple need once I get that merchant down. And we're doing good in terms of the money. We've got 15 budget balance available. The GDP has almost doubled. It was at about 900 before. So it's almost doubled. We're producing more. It's going good. Apart from the loyalty. That's the only thing that's going really bad. So anyway, guys, this has been one long episode, and the reason is because there's so much to cover. I said it would be a long episode at the start, and yes, it has been a long episode. I'm not entirely sure how long it's been. I'm assuming 30 to 40 minutes, because I've recorded much longer, and that's just been in the intermediate period where I'm just setting up fields and looking things over. So this has been a long one. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you've watched to the very end, then thank you so much. If you have also watched to the very end, and you've enjoyed it, that's the keyword, and you've enjoyed it, please give the video a like, and subscribe if you haven't already. the channel's doing really, really well at the moment, thanks to all you great people who've been subscribing and liking because you're enjoying this Ymir series. So if you haven't done that already, please do that. And yeah, I'll see you in episode 13, where we're going to cover the more aftermath of bartering, where we've hopefully got things more stable and improved on all sectors. So yeah, I'll see you then.